The bathroom incident begins. Lyra was not ready for Earth. She came from a planet where everything was made of soft lights and quiet sounds. Her people used crystals to grow food, clean the air, and even handle waste. There were no buttons, no machines, and no loud noises. So when she arrived on Earth to stay with a human host, she thought things would be calm. She was wrong. Jason, a young human man, had welcomed her kindly. He gave her a room, food, and even helped her learn some Earth words. At first, Lyra was happy. The bed was soft. The food was strange but tasty. And Jason was patient and kind. But there was one place in the house she had not yet entered. The bathroom. One day, after breakfast, Jason smiled and pointed to the bathroom door. "Come, I'll show you how to use it," he said. Lyra tilted her head. "Use it? For what? Does it teach something?" Jason laughed. No. It's where we wash, brush teeth, and go." She did not know. But she followed him anyway. The moment the door opened, her nose twitched. It smelled clean but strange. She saw a white bowl with a hole, a box behind it, and a silver lever. There was also a sink with shiny taps, a mirror, and a tub. It all looked too sharp, too clean, too alien. Jason pointed at the toilet. "This is the toilet. You sit here, do your business, then flush." Lyra's eyes grew wide. "Flush?" Jason reached for the lever. "Watch." He pulled it. The bowl roared like a tiny storm. Water swirled, spun fast, and then disappeared down the hole with a gurgling sound. Lyra screamed. She jumped back, hit the door, and scrambled out of the room like something had tried to pull her in. Her heart raced. She was shaking. Jason ran after her. "Wait, it's okay. It's just water." But Lyra was hiding behind the couch, breathing fast. Her hands glowed slightly, a sign of fear on her planet. "You have a hole in the floor that eats things," she cried. "It makes noise. It pulls water. It's alive." Jason tried not to laugh. He sat down on the other side of the couch. "It's not alive. It's just a machine. It uses water pressure to clean the bowl." She peeked at him. "So it eats dirt?" He nodded. "Yes, kind of." "And then where does the dirt go?" Jason paused. "Pipes, underground, to the sewer." Lyra's mouth fell open. "You carry waste under your house?" Jason scratched his head. "Well, yeah." She shook her head. "You humans are mad." Jason sighed. "It's normal here. Toilets are everywhere." Lyra did not come out from behind the couch for a long time. When she finally did, she sat far from Jason and looked at him like he had betrayed her. "You knew this." "You let me mirror it." Jason raised his hands. "I thought it would help you understand." She crossed her arms. "On my planet, we use crystal recyclers. Quiet, gentle, no roar, no hole." Jason smiled gently. "Different places, different ways." Lyra's eyes were still wide. "I thought Earth would be soft." Jason laughed softly. "It can be, but not the toilet." That night, Lyra refused to go near the bathroom. She asked Jason if there were any quiet trees nearby. He reminded her that she was in the city and that wasn't an option. So she stayed silent and drank less water. The fear was real. The next morning, Jason found her peeking into the bathroom from the hallway. Her body was tense, and she had a spoon in one hand like a weapon. "I just want to look," she whispered. Jason nodded. "Okay, no flush, promise." Lyra took one step in, then another. She pointed at the toilet. "It waits. It knows I fear it." Jason chuckled. "It doesn't know anything." She narrowed her eyes. "That's what it wants you to think." Jason didn't argue. He let her stare. She studied the bowl, the lever, even the small water inside. She leaned closer, sniffed it, then jumped back. "It hides its roar." Jason smiled. "You'll get used to it." Lyra wasn't sure. To her, The bathroom was a battlefield, and the toilet was the enemy. But something inside her also stirred curiosity. What else in this house worked like this? What other normal human things had secret powers? She didn't know it yet, but the toilet was only the beginning, and Earth, it seemed, had many machines, each stranger than the last dot asterisk. Why would you build a monster in your house? Lyra did not sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard the toilets roar. The sound of water spinning and disappearing haunted her dreams. She kept thinking the hole would open in her sleep and pull her into the ground. When morning came, her eyes were tired, and her mind was full of questions and fear. Jason found her sitting in the kitchen, holding a cup of tea but not drinking it. She was staring at the floor like it might open up. "You okay?" he asked gently. Lyra looked up slowly. "Why would you build a monster in your house?" Jason raised an eyebrow. "Monster?" She nodded. "That thing. The water beast." "The one in the bathroom," Jason sighed. "It's just a toilet." "Everyone has one." She leaned forward. "Everyone? So all your people have these beasts under their homes?" Jason smiled a little. "It's just plumbing. Pipes, water flow, and gravity. No beast, no danger." Lyra frowned deeply. "You say that, but it moved. It made a sound. It ate the water." "It looked like it wanted to eat me." Jason chuckled. "Lyra, it's not alive." But she didn't laugh. She was serious. "On my planet, we use harmony energy. We place waste into glowing stones. They break it down slowly and give off a clean scent. It is silent. It is peaceful. You do not sit above a screaming hole." Jason didn't know how to explain it. To him, toilets were normal. To her, they were nightmares. Lyra stood up. "If this is how humans solve problems, I worry about the rest of your machines." Jason scratched his head. "What do you mean?" She walked to the hallway and pointed at the bathroom. "That thing ... it doesn't warn you. It looks harmless. Then you press the lever and it explodes into sound." "It's a trap." Jason smiled gently. "It's not a trap. It's just how it works. You press the lever, it flushes the waste away." Lyra gave him a long look. "Then why does it suck so loudly? Why so much noise? Why the swirling? Is it angry?" Jason laughed. "It's not angry. That's just the water pressure. It needs to move fast to clean the bowl." She shook her head. "You could have made it slow, gentle. But no, you made it spin like a storm and growl like a beast." Jason couldn't argue with her logic. To someone new to Earth, toilets did seem a little dramatic. Lyra sat on the floor. "I want to understand humans. But if your cleaning machine acts like a wild animal, how do I know your other machines are safe?" Jason walked to the kitchen counter and picked up the toaster. "This is safe." She jumped to her feet. "That box? It hums." "I heard it hum." "When you put bread in it," Jason laughed. "It's just heat. It makes toast." "And the box with the blinking light?" she asked, pointing toward the microwave. "That's a microwave," Jason replied. "It heats food quickly." She looked suspicious. "Does it scream too?" Jason grinned. "No, just beeps." She stared at him. "I need a guidebook. Your world is loud and full of surprises." Jason sat beside her. "It's not so bad. Once you understand it, Earth is fun." She looked down. "I want to understand. I really do. But your machines hide their true nature. They wait until you touch them, then make noise. That's not kind." Jason nodded slowly. "Okay, then I'll help. One by one, we'll go through every machine. I'll show you how they work. No surprises." Lyra looked at him with hopeful eyes. "Even the water beast?" He smiled. "Especially the water beast." She took a deep breath. "Fine, but if it tries to eat me again, I'm running back to my ship." Jason laughed. "Deal." That afternoon, They began what Jason called Earth Tech School. First, he showed her the toaster, letting her push the button. She jumped when the toast popped up but didn't run. Then, he showed her the microwave and let her press the buttons. She flinched at the beep but smiled when the food got warm. Step by step, she was learning. Still, the bathroom door stayed closed. That night, as Jason read a book on the couch, he saw Lyra standing in the hallway, staring at the bathroom again. She held a spoon in one hand and a bowl in the other, like weapons. He didn't say anything. He let her stare. She took one step forward, then stopped. The fear was still there, but so was curiosity. The water beast had not yet won. And Lyra, though afraid, was not ready to give up. She would face it. Someday. A lesson in human devices. Lyra sat on the floor in the middle of Jason's living room, surrounded by machines. A toaster on her left, a hairdryer on her right, a microwave in front, a vacuum cleaner buzzing softly in the background. Her hands were resting on her knees, and her big alien eyes blinked slowly, full of suspicion. Jason stood nearby, holding a power cord like it was a gift of peace. "This is not an attack," he said carefully. "This is just a plug." Lyra squinted. "It looks like a tail. It's a cord. It gives power." "To what?" she asked, pointing at the vacuum cleaner nervously. "To this machine. It helps clean floors." Lyra tilted her head. "By roaring like a wild beast and eating dirt?" Jason tried not to laugh. "Yes," she groaned. "Why do all your machines growl and suck?" Jason knelt down. "Let me show you how it works." "No," she shouted quickly. "I will watch from here." "Far." Jason nodded. "All right. Watch." He turned the vacuum off, then back on. It buzzed and rolled forward. Lyra grabbed a pillow like a shield. "It's moving!" she cried. Jason turned it off again and smiled. "It's not alive. You control it." Lyra let out a long sigh. "Everything here is loud, fast, and strange. On my world, machines hum softly and never move unless told through energy touch." Jason thought about it. "Well, Earth Tech is more aggressive." She stood up slowly. "So far, I have survived the bread firebox, the noise box that warms food, and the spinning air blaster. I will not let the floor eater defeat me." Jason grinned. "You're braver than some humans." Lyra smiled proudly for a second, then grew serious. "But what about the worst one?" Jason blinked. "The worst?" She nodded slowly. "The bowl beast. The water demon." Jason laughed. "The toilet?" Lyra nodded again, eyes wide. "Yes, the king of noisy monsters." Jason put down the vacuum. "We'll get to that, one thing at a time." Lyra walked to the sink and turned the faucet slightly. Water poured out. She jumped back but didn't run. "I did it," she whispered. "And it didn't roar." Jason gave a thumbs up. "See? Progress." She pointed at the sink. "This is how water should act. Simple, quiet, no swirl, no scream." Jason showed her how to turn the hot tap and the cold one. She watched with awe as warm steam rose. "Your planet can burn with water," she said. "Amazing." Next, Jason handed her a remote control. She held it like a ticking bomb. "Is this a weapon?" "No," he chuckled. "It's for the TV." She pressed a button and the screen turned on. Lights, music, voices all poured out. Lyra dropped the remote and gasped. "You trap people in the wall." Jason picked it up and changed the channel. "It's not real. It's just a screen." Lyra leaned close, then touched the glass. "Magic window," she said softly. Jason showed her cartoons. She sat down, eyes glued to the bright colors. For 10 minutes, she forgot her fear. She even giggled once. Then a commercial came on showing a bathroom cleaner. A toilet flushed loudly on the screen. Lyra screamed and fell off the couch. Jason ran over. You okay? She pointed at the TV, breathing fast. Even the screen has the beast. Jason turned it off quickly. Okay, maybe no more TV today. Lyra stood up. Why do you love that monster so much? You even show it on your wall. Jason didn't know what to say. I guess. We don't think of it as scary. Lyra sat down again. Maybe your people are stronger than mine. Jason shook his head. No, you're just new here. You're still learning. She nodded slowly. Then teach me. So Jason spent the whole afternoon introducing her to small human things. He showed her light switches. Lyra jumped when the light turned on suddenly, but then she flicked the switch 10 more times, laughing. She met the blender, but refused to stand near it. The washing machine amazed her with its round glass and spinning clothes. She called it a water trap for fabric. Jason explained everything with patience. Lyra listened with care. She still didn't like earth machines, but now she understood them a little better. As the sun set, Lyra sat near the bathroom door again. It was still closed, still quiet. She didn't open it. Not yet, but tomorrow. Maybe she would need more lessons first. And maybe some armor. The water beast still waited. But so did she. Curiosity versus fear. Lyra stood in front of the bathroom door, arms crossed, lips pressed tight. She had battled machines all week, strange ones that beeped, blinked, blew air, or spun water. She had survived the toaster's surprise pop, the microwave's sharp beep, and the blender's roar. She had even touched the washing machine while it spun like a wild storm. But this door was still her greatest enemy. The toilet monster. Jason walked past her with a towel over his shoulder. Still staring at it? Lyra didn't move. Her eyes from the door. It's quiet now. Too quiet. That's when it's most dangerous. Jason laughed. Lyra, it only makes noise when you flush it. You control it. It doesn't wake up on its own. She turned to him. You say that. But the moment I walk in, it senses fear. Jason shook his head. You've been in starships, faced radiation storms, and dealt with space pirates, and you're scared of plumbing? Lyra glared at him. Those things were honest. This beast pretends to be calm, then swallows. Jason dropped his towel. On the couch. Come on, just open the door today. You don't even have to flush. Lyra stared at the handle. Then, slowly, she reached out and turned it. The door creaked open. The bathroom was still. The toilet sat silently in its corner, shiny and white, innocent looking. She took one step in. Jason stayed back, giving her space. She crept closer, eyes fixed on the bowl. She could see her reflection in the water. It was calm. Nothing moved. Is it sleeping? She whispered. It's not alive, Jason replied gently. She pointed at it. Can you flush it from far away? He walked over and pulled the lever. Foosh! Water swirled fast. It roared like a beast hungry for sound. Lyra screamed and jumped behind the wall. Jason laughed. You asked for it. I knew it. She shouted. It's waiting for the right moment to suck me in. Jason tried to hold back his smile. Want to try it yourself? Lyra peeked around the corner. You think I'm ready? He nodded. You've faced worse. She stepped back in and approached the lever slowly. Her fingers hovered above it, shaking. Then she pulled. Foosh! She didn't scream this time, but she did run. Jason clapped from the hallway. Progress. Lyra peeked out again. It's stronger than I thought. It pulls with such power. Jason nodded. That's the water pressure. It cleans better that way. She looked confused. But where does it go? Jason pulled out his tablet and showed her a diagram of pipes and sewers under the city. It travels underground, out of the house. Humans don't like keeping waste nearby. Lyra studied the screen. So, the beast is connected to a whole network of pipes? Jason nodded. Exactly, she gasped. You built an entire underground system for this monster? Jason laughed. We built it for hygiene, for health, not for monsters. Lyra stepped back into the bathroom again, slowly. She stared at the toilet, then circled around it. It looks harmless now, she said quietly, but I've seen its true face. Jason leaned on the doorframe. You'll get used to it. Soon, you'll flush like a pro. Lyra turned and looked at him. Flush like a pro? It means you'll stop running, she rolled her eyes. That may take time, Jason nodded. That's okay. You're doing great, she smiled a little. Even though I still fear the toilet, he smiled back. Especially because you still fear the toilet, but you keep facing it. That night, Lyra stayed in the hallway after brushing her teeth. At the sink, she stared at the bowl again. The water inside was still. She stepped closer, leaned in, and whispered, You won today, but I will win tomorrow. Then she closed the lid gently, as if not to wake it. Jason watched from the hallway with pride. Lyra wasn't just facing machines, she was facing herself. Her fear, her pride, her curiosity. And slowly, curiosity was starting to win. The toilet hadn't changed, but Lyra had. And tomorrow, she would try again. This is war with water. Lyra sat at the kitchen table with a notepad in front of her. She had drawn a picture of the toilet, labeled every part she could remember, and circled the lever in red ink. Across the top of the paper, in bold alien symbols, she had written, Battle Strategy, Toilet Beast. Jason walked in, rubbing his eyes. Morning. Why are you planning war before breakfast? Lyra didn't look up. This is not just a bathroom tool. This is a test. A trial. I must defeat it. Jason poured himself coffee. By drawing it? No, she said, standing tall. By preparing for every attack. Jason sipped his drink and raised an eyebrow. It's not going to attack you, Lyra. That's what it wants you to believe, she replied. But I know better now. I must act. She pulled out a box from under the table. It was full of random things. Goggles, a flashlight, duct tape, a spoon, and what looked like an alien energy crystal. Jason stared. What are you doing with my kitchen tools? Lyra picked up the gloves. These are my shield against splash. She strapped on the goggles. These protect my vision during the swirl. She held up the spoon. Weapon, for emergency poking. Jason tried not to laugh. You're going to battle the toilet with a spoon? If it dares spit at me, she said seriously, I will respond with honor. Then she opened a plastic bag and pulled out a strange folded cloth. Jason blinked. Is that a cape? Yes, for morale. Lyra wrapped the cape around her shoulders. It had stars printed on it, probably a curtain from Jason's guest room. He put down his mug. All right, warrior, what's the plan? She pointed at the bathroom. I go in. I flush 3 times. I stay in place. No running. Jason smiled. Big step. Lyra nodded. I must win today. I need my pride back. They walked together to the bathroom. Jason stayed by the door as Lyra stepped inside, fully armored and holding her spoon like a sword. She took a deep breath. Her boots squeaked on the tile floor. She lifted the toilet lid slowly, as if greeting a sleeping dragon. The water inside was still. She nodded once. Round 1, she whispered, and pulled the lever. Foosh! The swirl began, fast and loud. Lyra stayed still. Her body tensed, but she didn't run. She didn't scream. When the water calmed again, she took a shaky breath. 1 down, she muttered. 2 to go. Jason leaned into the room. Doing okay? She raised one gloved hand. Do not distract me. This is war. He chuckled and leaned back out. Second flush. She pulled the lever again. Foosh, still loud. Still spinning. Still terrifying. But this time, she narrowed her eyes and took a step closer. She stared into the bowl. I see you, she said. You think you scare me? I come from a world where the air sings and fire dances. You are just water in a bowl. Jason peeked in. Talking to it now? She needs to know who's boss, Lyra replied. Third flush. Foosh. This time, a tiny splash jumped up from the tila. Water. It landed on Lyra's gloves. She gasped. It spat at me. Jason laughed from the hallway. Just water. Lyra looked at the splash on her glove. Then, with slow pride, wiped it on her cape. I didn't run, she said softly. I stayed. Jason stepped into the room, clapping gently. You did it. She turned, smiling wide. The beast is strong, but I am stronger. Jason grinned. Want to name it? She tilted her head. What? You faced your fear. You deserve to name it. Lyra thought for a second, then said, Swirling the Noisy. Jason laughed. Swirling, I like it. Lyra removed her gloves, unwrapped the goggles, and took off her cape. Today, I did not fear the flush. Today, I flushed with purpose. Jason handed her a juice box. You earned it. She sipped it proudly. Tomorrow I will try sitting near it. Jason raised an eyebrow. You haven't done that yet? She paused. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. That night, she placed a small alien sticker on the toilet tank. It was shaped like a lightning bolt and glowed blue. Jason asked, What's that for? She said, Mark of victory. And from that day, whenever the toilet roared, Lyra didn't flinch. She narrowed her eyes and said, Swirling, we meet again. The war wasn't over, but the fear was losing. And the girl from the stars was slowly becoming Earth's bravest bathroom. Warrior. Trust and friendship, the rain hit the roof like soft drumming. Jason was fixing a leaking pipe under the kitchen sink when he heard a sudden splash. Then another. Then a scream. Jason, water is escaping. He dropped his tools and rushed into the hallway. Water was pouring from the bathroom fast, wild, and chaotic. The toilet had overflowed. Lyra stood in the middle of it, holding a mop like a spear, and trying to block the water. I tried to flush him politely. She shouted, But Swirling has rebelled. Jason waded into the water and quickly shut off the valve behind the toilet. The wild swirl stopped. Silence filled the room, except for the dripping sound. He looked at her clothes-soaked hair, messy, boots floating. Yet she stood proud like a general after battle. Are you okay? He asked. I am fine, she said, breathing hard. But I think Swirling was angry today. Jason chuckled. Nah, it's just a clog. Lyra frowned. A what? He pointed to the bowl. Sometimes things get stuck. It blocks the pipe, and the water overflows. It's not personal, Lyra squinted. So it wasn't attacking me? Jason smiled. No, it just needed help. She looked around. Then it is sick, Jason laughed. Sure, we can say that. Lyra knelt beside the bowl and gently patted it. Heal quickly, old enemy. Together they cleaned the water. Jason showed her how to use towels to block the doorway, and how to use a plunger. Lyra made a face when he explained what it was. You push this stick into the bowl? Yep, that's a strange weapon, he laughed again. It's more of a tool. Lyra took the plunger, held it like a royal staff, and gave it a name, the Stick of Control. Later that day, Jason replaced a few damaged parts. The leak stopped. The toilet returned to normal. That evening, something changed between them. Lyra didn't sit on the edge of the room anymore. She joined Jason on the couch. She sat close, relaxed, her hands clean and dry. For the first time, she spoke softly about her home. There were no toilets on my world, she said. Our technology worked with nature. Quiet, gentle. Even children could fix things. Jason listened carefully. Sounds beautiful. Lyra nodded. But we had no people like you. Jason looked surprised. Like me? She smiled. Who teach with kindness? Who laugh when I scream but never shame me? He felt a warmth in his chest. Well, I've never had a guest who battled my bathroom, she giggled. Swirling is stronger than most. They both laughed. Then silence. Lyra looked at him. I think I was not just scared of the toilet. I was scared of being weak, of being alone on a strange planet. Jason nodded. That makes sense. But you never left, she said. I wouldn't, he replied. Lyra's eyes softened. That matters more than you know. The next day, something amazing happened. Lyra walked into the bathroom alone. No armor, no gloves, no spoon. She looked into the toilet. Calm, still. She flushed. FWOOSH. She didn't blink. She stood firm. Then she sat down slowly on the lid and stayed there. When she came out, Jason was making toast. She smiled wide. I sat with Swirling. Jason turned. Seriously? She nodded, and I flushed him like a human. Jason grinned. You're ready. Ready for what? She asked. He pointed to the toaster. Breakfast, like a normal day. Lyra laughed. A normal day on Earth, with noise, heat, strange machines. And a friend. Jason handed her a piece of toast. She took a bite and smiled. I like it here. He smiled back. We like you here too. That night, she sat by the window, looking at the stars. She whispered softly, maybe Earth isn't a battlefield. Maybe it's a lesson. And with that, the girl who once feared a toilet became a little more human. The toilet no longer. Winds a week had passed. Lyra no longer flinched at sounds. She no longer ran from flushes. The war was over. But her journey wasn't. It had only changed. The girl who once feared Earth's machines now woke early every morning, walked into the bathroom with confidence, and flushed the toilet with calm, steady hands. Swirling, the name she once gave it in fear, now stood quietly like an old rival turned friend. Jason watched her grow every day. Not just in strength, but in trust. She now helped him clean the house. She pressed the microwave buttons with pride. She loaded the washing machine with socks and shirts, humming softly. She still didn't love the blender, but she no longer called it the mouth of thunder. That was progress. One afternoon, a small transport pod arrived outside Jason's home. Another alien girl stepped out. Her name was Rin. She was young, nervous, and clearly fresh from the stars. When she entered the house, she stared at the television with wide eyes. She screamed when the vacuum turned on. And when she saw the bathroom ... no, she whispered. That ... is a creature. Lyra stood behind her, arms crossed, smiling kindly. Jason looked at Lyra. Remind you of anyone? Lyra laughed. She is me. Just a few weeks ago. Rin refused to step near the bathroom. She cried when Jason showed her the lever. Lyra sat with her gently, held her hand, and whispered, It's scary, I know, but I promise it won't eat you. Rin looked up. But the noise, Lyra nodded. Yes, it screams. It spins, but it does not hurt. It only surprises you. Jason watched in silence. Lyra was now the teacher. The next morning, Lyra did something unexpected. She opened the bathroom and stuck a bright sticker on the toilet lid. It was a star shiny and gold. Rin asked, What's that for? It means safe zone, Lyra replied. A promise. No danger here. She then reached under the sink and pulled out a tiny alien device. She pressed it against the toilet tank. It blinked twice and beeped softly. Jason asked, "What did you do?" Lyra smiled. "I added a soft flush delay. It will now flush ... gently." Jason was amazed. "You modified the toilet?" She nodded proudly. "For future guests." Later that evening, Lyra wrote a message on a small card and taped it to the bathroom mirror. It read, "To all visitors from the stars, this room is not a battlefield. This is where courage is born. You are stronger than the noise. You are not alone. Rin read the words and smiled. That night, she walked into the bathroom, closed the door, and flush. There was a soft whoosh. No scream. No splash. And no running. Jason looked at Lyra and smiled. "You just created Earth's first alien toilet manual," Lyra laughed. "I call it How to Flush with Honor." They both laughed. As the sun set, Lyra sat on the porch, watching the sky turn gold. Jason joined her with 2 cups of warm tea. "I never thought I'd see the day," he said. "What day?" she asked. "The day you teach someone else about Earth." She looked at the sky, calm and thoughtful. It was never about the toilet. It was about trust, about facing things I didn't understand. Jason nodded. "And now?" she smiled. "Now I understand humans a little more, and maybe I understand myself too." The porch light flickered on. In the hallway, Rin giggled. As the microwave beeped for the first time, Lyra stood up and stretched her arms. "I think I'll design a guidebook next." Jason raised an eyebrow. "A guidebook?" "Yes," she said. "For aliens visiting Earth. Page 1. Don't fear the flush." And with that, the alien girl who once screamed at a toilet ... had become a symbol of strength for others like her, because on Earth, the strongest warriors weren't always the loudest ones. Sometimes, they were the ones who faced a small, white, roaring bowl and dared to flush.